Good afternoon, dear friends. My name is Sergey Shevelev, and we're continuing our series, The ABC of Tea, where we talk about the basics of good tea, about brewing tea, its history and origins, choosing tea, and many other things. So sit down and get comfortable and we'll start. Today's topic is the myths about the harmful effects of tea. I can safely use the word myth because going forward I will say that I'm a supporter of the scientific approach. There's no scientific research that proves any significant harmful effect of tea. But people keep exaggerating the myths from so-called British scientists, or from unscientific research that is not proven about some particular harmful effects. Today we'll look closely at all of these. In reality, where do these myths come from? Tea is a complex substance and includes more than 300 different chemicals that are not thoroughly explored. Tea is first of all explored naturally through the empirical treatment. This beverage has been known for more than a few millennia. It's been consumed by millions of people for many years. Now we can even say billions of people, and there's no evidence of any harmful effects. But myths still exist, and now I'll talk about them. The myth number one is that tea is thought to cause esophagus cancer, or that it is very dangerous for gastritis and ulcer sufferers. I should say that for those who have stomachache and serious troubles with digestion, generally many other products are not recommended with meals. And people who are on special diets, or who have a serious health problem, he or she needs to talk to a doctor. Tea is not the only product in this case that should be controlled. Certainly the active teas, like green tea and sheng pu'er, first of all irritate the gastric mucosa. There is one simple rule here. You should never drink on an empty stomach, and never drink too strong tea. And of course you should observe how the tea influences you, what state it puts you in. You need to control the dosage. If you misuse it, every beverage, not only tea, even water can harm you if you consume it thoughtlessly. What about the esophagus cancer which can be supposedly caused by tea? The same story was told about mate from Argentina and Paraguay, that mate causes cancer. And all of this was quickly disproved. All the people who were diagnosed with severe health problems drank very hot tea, literally boiling beverage. They were constantly affecting their throats with the boiling water. They were just burning their throat for a very long time, and this caused the trouble, not the beverage itself. They could just as easily be drinking boiling water and hurt their health. Tea supposedly contains heavy metals and other substances. The tea, especially that which was grown by irresponsible producers who violate the rules, may truly contain different chemicals, and this can be any product as well. Or you can live in bad ecological conditions. But this doesn't concern the plant itself and the drink. If you buy tea in an unproven shop of the mass market that has no certification of purity, of course it can contain anything. But when tea is certified, for example, I work with the producers directly and know what they do and how they work, and how we can protect ourselves from these factors. Indeed, tea can absorb many chemicals. That's why now there's a trend in the world for organic farming, for responsible farming. If fertilizers are used, it's only within the rules. And over the course of time, the fertilizers improve. There's a huge amount of organic fertilizers that are absolutely safe. The same is true of the mythology about too much pollution in China. You need to understand that there's a big difference between the agrarian regions and the industrial regions in China. They're located thousands of kilometers apart. And when you arrive to the mountains in Yunnan or Sichuan province, or somewhere else, you see the beauty of this place and cannot believe it's China, which is seemingly polluted and fearful. The same concerns the other countries. The regions where the organic tea grows are often pure, and the state controls it, because it's certified and checked by an independent organization that is not Chinese or Indian as a rule. It is European or American or Japanese that pay a lot of attention to the purity of the product. Myth number 4, that tea may cause bad insomnia. This is the question, again, of the caffeine in tea and the misuse of tea. If you drink shifir before going to bed, or you drink 5 liters of very strong tea in the afternoon, especially if you do it regularly, this can lead to insomnia, of course. But there's no use to speak about the bad influence of the product. We could say just as well that a knife is dangerous and it has to be prohibited in shops. We can cut with it or do something else. So it's important to control the consumption by yourself and not to misuse the product. Myth number 6, that tea leaches the body's useful microelements, calcium, iron and others. It's said to happen in dangerous quantities. I have to say that every product you eat enters the food chain, gets digested, and gives and takes some elements. And through this metabolism enters your body. No one scientific work exists in the world that proves this statement. It is false information which has no grounds. The most ridiculous myth is myth number 7, that tea is allegedly highly addictive and causes drug dependence. I have to drink tea now. I really need it. Actually, this is not true. We can say it about any product, that you are addicted to food or air. There are no scientific works that prove it. And of course, there is no research that proves that people who do not drink tea for some time have withdrawal symptoms. It surely can be slightly addictive physically, or more likely psychologically, when you just enjoy drinking tea and you feel invigorated. And later you want to experience the same condition. I've drunk a lot of tea for very many years. And sometimes I don't drink tea at all for a few days or drink very little. And in general, I don't notice any sharp change in my condition. Generally, the state of drinking or not drinking tea, even if you drink very much, does not cause any severe problems or addictions. It's not a proven thing. This is a pleasant addiction that in no way harms your body. And this addiction is easily kicked and overridden if you don't have tea near you. We've sorted out the myths, but I have to say that tea has very useful properties, and this information is much more widespread, and hundreds of thousands of scientific works on this topic exist. And these works were not only sponsored by the tea companies, as many people say, that alcohol is examined by alcohol companies, tobacco by tobacco companies. Thank goodness there are independent institutions, countries that don't produce tea. There is independent research in the world, and a huge amount of it is about tea. But you don't need to be a scientist to see the positive effects of tea. There are a few cases when you clearly see the effects on you very quickly, and I'll say more about that. The first, even in China, it was often said that tea banishes turtle. It was often said that pu'er teas are good for constipation and indigestion. Indeed, tea normalizes digestion, and different teas affect it in different ways. Anyway, the fermented teas, dark ones especially, stimulate digestion and peristalsis, and this influences them as well. The main thing again is not to misuse tea. The second is that tea is a natural energy drink. It tones and cheers you up. You're able to work more easily, and unlike the effects of coffee, the effect of tea is milder and more smooth, and the duration of the effect is longer. So you're on your toes for a longer time, and can work or get on with something and be positive and in high spirits. Besides this, tea is a natural source of antioxidants and vitamins and microelements that improve the condition of skin and hair, clean out the body, and have antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. A lot of teas, the components of teas that are used in medicines, medicinal drugs, and the teas themselves are used in traditional and modern medicines all over the world. I would talk more about the details, but this is a commonly known and proven fact. I will say something about digestion. It's known that, for example, mountain peoples, nomad tribes who eat a lot of meat and greasy food, drink a lot of very strong tea, and it helps to digest this greasy food. Tea is a natural source of vitamins, and it splits fats. So if you consume tea reasonably and add it to your diet, it helps in weight loss. But of course you shouldn't call tea the diet pill. It's not a medicine by form. But if you lead a healthy life and add tea into your ration, tea can stimulate the improvement of your health. Apart from that, there is a chemical that tea contains, theobromine, which stimulates kidneys and the urinary system. As a result, in China, illnesses of the kidneys are encountered more rarely, kidney stones and other illnesses. So tea has a positive effect on kidneys too. In general, tea has a strengthening effect and strengthens the immune system and has a beneficial effect on the central nervous system, stabilizing it. For sure, misusing tea can give you high emotions. But if you drink it reasonably, it stabilizes your state. At the end now, we should go through all the facts that I said. If you have severe troubles with your health or during pregnancy and lactation period, you should always consult a doctor about your diet. I'm not a doctor again, and tea is not a medicinal drug. It is a beverage, and you should always listen to your body. Be aware of your health and moderate your consumption. It's considered that even when pregnant you can drink some quantity of tea. For example, very light, not strong, on a full stomach of course, and in small quantities of course, 1 or 2 cups per day. But due to individual intolerance or individual characteristics, some limits may exist. There are no universal rules. The same concerns the stomach ulcer. I know many people, our guests and acquaintances, who had ulcers. And it's considered that when you have ulcers, some sort of tea or strong teas are restricted. But the people who really had those problems told me that in some cases tea helped them. This means that together with diet and other products, that tea was a good help. However, if you don't have serious problems with health, tea is a good support for your day. I can give you some recommendations on drinking. I drink tea myself, in the morning most of all. If I drink tea in the evening, I drink on a full stomach, not later than 4 hours before sleep, to have regular and calm sleep. I always try to observe the rules. Even if I run the tastings at work, it's not about the correct use. I drink a lot of tea sometimes, but after that I take a break, and I don't drink tea for 1 or 2 days at all. Usually I drink 1 to 2 or 3 liters per day of not very strongly brewed tea. Although I know several Tibetans that I met in Yunnan or Sichuan who drink about 7 to 8 liters of very strongly brewed tea and live for many years and feel good. That's why I said that everything's individual. The main thing is to find your own rules, your own tea, and have the pleasant emotion from it. I'll say goodbye to you now. Enjoy your tea. See you.